It is raining. You step outside, tip your face up, and let a few drops land on your skin. It feels clean. It is not. Every drop that touches you tonight is carrying something invisible. Fragments of plastic, thousands of them in a single glass of rain. They fell from the clouds with the water, and when the rain stops, they do not simply disappear. They go somewhere. They always go somewhere. So tonight, let's follow them. To understand where the plastic in rain goes, you first have to see where it begins. And it begins much closer to you than you think. Look at what you are wearing. Polyester, nylon, acrylic, most modern clothing is woven from plastic thread. Every time you move, every time these clothes are washed, they shed. Microscopic synthetic fibers break loose by the thousands. Outside, it is the same story with a different source, your car tires. With every mile, they grind against the road and release a fine dust of plastic and rubber. Fibers from a shirt, dust from a tire, far too small to see, light enough to float, and the wind is waiting. A gust lifts them off the pavement. Warm air rises from the sunlit ground, and the fibers rise with it, spiraling upward on invisible currents. This is the airborne highway. Thermal currents carry these particles higher and higher, past the rooftops, past the birds, into the open sky. Up there, the wind runs in rivers, fast, high-altitude streams that circle the entire planet. A fiber that fell from your sleeve in one country can ride those winds for days, crossing oceans, crossing continents, before it comes down as rain on the other side of the world. There is no border checkpoint in the sky. The plastic goes everywhere the weather goes. And then it reaches the clouds. This is where the story takes a strange turn. A cloud is not just water. For a droplet to form, the water vapor needs something solid to cling to. A tiny seed. Usually it's a speck of dust or a grain of sea salt, but a fragment of plastic works too. Recent research suggests that airborne microplastics can act like these seeds, helping water freeze and gather around them, high in the atmosphere. Sit with that for a moment. The plastic we made does not just fall in the rain. It may be helping to make the rain itself. Now the storm breaks, and a downpour is the most efficient cleaner the sky has. As billions of raindrops fall, they sweep through miles of air, colliding with every particle in their path and dragging it down toward the ground. The plastic that was floating in the sky is scrubbed out of it, packed into the falling water, and delivered to the surface below. This is why the heaviest rain often carries the most plastic. The storm is quite literally washing the sky. But the plastic does not travel alone. And this is where it turns genuinely dangerous. A piece of microplastic has a peculiar property. Its surface attracts other pollutants. Pesticides, industrial chemicals, heavy metals, the way a magnet attracts iron filings. During its long flight through polluted air, each fragment quietly collects a coating of toxins. Scientists call it the toxic hitchhiker effect. So what lands in the rain is not just plastic. It is plastic wrapped in a film of concentrated poison, riding down to Earth. For most of human history, rain was the definition of purity. The cleanest water on Earth fell freely from the sky. That is over. Scientists have now tested rain on every continent, in crowded cities, over open oceans, in the most remote national parks, far from any road. They find plastic in all of it. One study of rain over the American West put it plainly. It is raining plastic. There is no longer a single place on this planet where truly pure rain still falls. So the rain reaches the ground. And this is where we lose sight of the plastic, but it does not stop moving. The water sheets off your roof, down the street, and into the drains, carrying its cargo with it. Some of it sinks. It seeps down through the soil, layer by layer, into the deep groundwater reserves that we drink from. The very smallest pieces, the nanoplastics, are so fine that they slip straight through the filters at our treatment plants. The nets we built simply cannot catch them. And the plastic keeps finding new doors to open. In the soil, nanoplastics can be drawn up through the roots of plants, the same roots that feed our crops of wheat, lettuce, and rice. The particle that started as a thread on your shirt can end its journey inside the food on your plate. Even the mountaintops are not safe. On remote, snowy peaks, researchers find what they now call plastic snow, slowly changing the chemistry of that high, frozen ground. Follow the runoff further, and you reach the rivers. After a heavy storm, they surge, and they carry a hidden load. For a few hours, a swollen river can become a thin soup of synthetic fiber, flushed off the land all at once. The creatures living there swallow it. And in some keystone species, the small animals whole ecosystems depend on, that plastic appears to disrupt the delicate cycle of reproduction. In the soil, too much plastic changes how the ground itself breathes, how it holds water, how it lets roots through. Small changes, everywhere at once. Here is the hardest part to accept. None of this breaks down. Not really. Plastic does not rot the way a leaf rots. It only shatters into smaller and smaller pieces again and again, staying plastic the entire time. The fragments falling into tonight's rain will still be cycling through the sky, the soil, and the water long after you and I are gone. For centuries. We have added a permanent new ingredient to the weather, a layer of ourselves folded into the water cycle, going around and around. Scientists are only now beginning to map this plastosphere, to track where it travels, and to imagine ways we might one day pull it back out. So where do the billions of microplastics in rain go? The unsettling answer is everywhere. Into the ground beneath your feet, into the rivers and the crops, into the clouds that will rain again tomorrow. The rain was never really separate from us. It rises from our oceans, moves through our air, and falls back onto our world, carrying whatever we have put into it. The next time you feel a few drops on your skin, remember what they have traveled through to reach you. The rain still feels clean, but it now carries a small, quiet piece of everything we have made. And it always will.